Welcome back to EAK TV, and we are here at Istanbul Blockchain Week with Alex from Fireblocks. How are you doing, Alex?
Very good, thank you. Very happy to be here with you today.
That's awesome. How are you liking Istanbul Blockchain Week so far?
It's a great event, lots of existing customers and prospects, and I think it's a vibrant ecosystem that's ready for disruption.
That's amazing. Is it your first time to be in Turkey or Istanbul?
No, I've been here a few times, and we have existing customers, and we have an existing footprint in Turkey.
That's good to know. So talking about Fireblocks, so could you provide an overview of Fireblocks' journey and its role in the crypto custody and security space?
Yes, of course. So Fireblocks is a cybersecurity company. Our co-founders come from this space, and they basically identified a gap in the market back in 2018. And that gap is basically the need for a secured self-custody solution without any compromise on potential scalability. So they basically built a product with a zero trust architecture, multiple security layers that essentially empowers institutions to build and scale digital asset infrastructures. So we initially started with hot and warm wallet infrastructure, we then added cold storage, and most recently we provided infrastructure that is specifically created for banks, so typically on-prem deployment options with HSM integration, and we basically meet the requirements of those customers that need a very secure and scalable environment.
That's pretty interesting. So tell us more how Fireblocks cater to the evolving, changing needs of the industry.
Of course. So basically, we provide infrastructure, and that infrastructure can be used by anyone that essentially interacts with the blockchain, whether it's a small Web3 project, NFT project, gaming project, or a large bank that wants to create a stablecoin. You need wallets, so we provide a very secured wallet infrastructure. We provide governance around those wallets, and then we provide security around all of the different interactions you can have with the blockchain. You can connect crypto exchanges, liquidity providers, OTC desks. You can securely screen your transactions using AML and KYC providers, and essentially run your smart contracts end-to-end directly from Fireblocks. So our products basically meet the requirements of institutions that want to secure all of their digital asset infrastructure, regardless of the use case.
Okay. That's great. So to follow through with that question, so in your opinion, is cybersecurity in DeFi even more important than it is in traditional finance, and why?
I would say that cybersecurity is important everywhere. Of course, it's important in DeFi, probably because the surface attack is a bit wider. But I would say this is important everywhere, and that should be something people have to think about on any type of Web3 project, whether DeFi or centralized or anything.
Totally. So what do you think contributed to the most success of Fireblocks over the couple of years?
That's a good question. I think what contributed to our success is our ability to deliver projects for both crypto natives, but also trade-for institutions. We have been engaged with large institutions that have no experience in blockchain or crypto, and we've been able to help them move from zero to full-blown production environments at scale in a matter of weeks. So I think what contributed the most to our success is our ability to deliver an environment in which trade-for institutions, but also crypto natives, are able to build in a very secure manner and then scale in production environments.
It's a very good technology that Fireblocks is doing. So you often mention that Web3 startups often prioritize growth over security protocol development. So could you share more about the potential risk and consequences of this approach?
Yes, of course. We hear this from time to time. I guess when you think about risk and security for Web3 projects, you have three main pillars. The first pillar would be around the employees of the project, being able as a company to attribute roles and powers and privileges for specific type of actions would be, I guess, one important layer. The second one would be around the infrastructure, the choice of providers, and being able to map the different parts of the infrastructure and what interacts with what. And I guess the last part, which is not the fun one, is to plan for the worst and essentially define some kind of responses in case some kind of a breach happens. These are very important questions, and actually just a few days ago we released on our website, is publicly available, something that we defined as the RECT test, which is a list of 12 questions that anyone can go through and in order to define and get visibility on the potential risks in Web3 projects. So I invite you to go and check it out on our website.
So that's great that you always also want to prepare not only for the best, but also for the worst. So could you provide some examples of the types of security vulnerabilities or threats that such an approach could help mitigate?
Well, you have numerous ways to think about security. I think if we go back to the three layers that I've mentioned, it basically covers a risk around the employees that are working within the organization, around the infrastructure that's deployed around the main project, the different providers, any type of providers for that matter. And then I guess the risks are that the project could just disappear. If there is an attack on a project via a smart contract, via an employee, via one of the partners of the infrastructure, that could be the end of it. So thinking about security is something that you have to put first when you're in your projects.
Totally. So you also emphasize the importance of having a security game plan, correct? And mapping out a project from a security perspective. So with this, how do you suggest startups to begin the process of creating security game plan?
Well, I would invite them to look at the RECT plan we put together on our website. It's a list of 12 questions that basically ask you about your project, ask you about the people involved in that project, and it's a very good starting point. That being said, we also provide guidance at Fireblocks, and we have best practices per use case. So depending on the type of project, there are certain type of deployment options that will be suitable for that project, and we're able to provide best practices alongside the different type of deployment options you could run through Fireblocks.
That's great. So they should check it out on the website. So Fireblocks has an extensive portfolio. So with this, how do the new Web3 services fit into overall vision and strategy of Fireblocks in terms of serving a diverse range of customers? Can you please elaborate on that?
Yes, of course. So, like I said at the beginning, we can service anyone that is touching the blockchain, right? Whether you're launching an NFT marketplace, you're creating a crypto exchange, you're a bank launching a stablecoin or any kind of tokenization project, our platform provides security layers around all of those different types of operations. Now, with my experience at Fireblocks, I've been working there for the last 2.5 years now. We saw a lot of demand initially from crypto natives, right? So crypto exchanges, OTC desks, market makers. And we're now seeing a shift that's actually quite global from those crypto natives to larger TradFi institutions and banks. And to that end, we have developed a banking deployment model for banks to actually leverage on-prem deployments and HSM connectivity. The last thing which I would mention is, although we're an API-first institution, we also think very seriously about the user interface. When you're a Web3 startup, you can code and manage everything by APIs, but when you're a bank and you're running a number of different types of operations, it's probably easier to have a nice user interface. And one of the features we released lately, or we're actually about to release next week, is what we call the smart transfer, which is essentially a way for a bank or an institution to initiate one-way or two-way transfers between regulated counterparties, which are connected to your network environment on Fireblocks and add multiple governance layers on top. And it provides audits and visibility alongside the whole process.
That's amazing that you make it also easier for people who is not into Web3, such as like the banks. So for my last question, what is your message to the Fireblocks community and anything that they can be excited about?
Yes, of course. What I would say, we have quite an extensive network of counterparties. Overall, we have 1,800 institutional customers that are using our services, ranging from banks to crypto exchanges and anyone. So if you're on the Fireblocks network, do reach out and we can help connect you to staking providers, liquidity providers, and lots of customers that are already existing our product, using our product. Sorry, can you do this one again? Can we go? Sorry, I fucked up on the front.
No worries. Okay.
That's not right, right?
No. We could edit this part. Okay. As for my last question, so what can you say to the Fireblocks community and anything that they could be excited about?
Thank you. Yes, of course. So we have quite an extensive network of counterparties. We have over 1,800 institutional customers, from TradeFi to staking providers, liquidity providers. And essentially, we have this network that enables our customers to interact between each other without the need to copy-paste wallet addresses, with automated authentication. Essentially, we encourage our customers to leverage this network using the smart transfers that I've just mentioned.
That's great. So thank you very much for having us in this interview. I hope you have a great time in Istanbul Blockchain Week.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.